Hello, my name is Alec Totten, and the following is my submission for the final project multimedia presentation for Communication 300, aka Communication Theory. Over the course of this term, we have been asked to investigate a hypothetical workplace communication issue, how it could be resolved, and how the knowledge gained from that could be used to help us in our own careers. This has always been a bit of a complicated task for me, seeing as I've admittedly never had a proper job beyond a few months of volunteer work, and therefore have always had a lackluster understanding of how workplace environments actually operate. So instead, I decided to write about the topic of literature studies in middle to early high school environments, and what instructors can do to better facilitate meaningful engagement between students and literature. The theory in question and how it extends to other communication problems is the theory of in order to first we're going to address the theory that I addressed and how it extends to other communication problems. So to give a brief overview, the primary reason I wrote about this topic was in response to something called the blue curtains joke, which I'd seen floated around circles of the internet, and I'd first heard it in my own 9th grade class years ago. The idea behind the joke is that English teachers simply ascribe deeper meanings to elements of a story that the author supposedly didn't think too hard about to begin with. And while this could open a conversation about authorial intent versus the audience's interpretation of a work, which in itself is a theory within literary criticism known as death of the author, the foundation of the joke seems to be that the author never intended to do anything beyond to provide a literal recount of fictional events, which I've since taken to view as a rather juvenile way of approaching fiction. So after doing some research, the solution I came up with how to better combat this is to find ways to ease students into the world of literary analysis and critical thought by encouraging them to think of the deeper meanings behind fiction that they would actively seek out on their own terms, in addition to works provided within the school's curriculum. While this solution was partially based off of my own experiences, it also takes cues from the theory of uses and gratifications, which, according to the Encyclopedia of Children, Adolescents, and the Media, written by author Kate Pierce in 2007, the theory of uses and gratifications is based on the ideas that media audiences are active rather than passive, that their media choices depend on perceived needs, satisfactions, wishes, or motives, and that audiences are formed on the basis of similarities of need, interest, and taste, end quote. Essentially, the application of this theory would allow students to familiarize themselves with literary criticism before making them acquaint themselves with an unfamiliar work, thereby providing them with essential reading skills in advance. And this type of approach is important for communication in general because it allows individuals to gain an understanding of certain issues and how to address them at a pace that they're comfortable with in reference to experiences that they would have an easier time understanding. So what have I learned from this is that after doing the research for this assignment, it's essentially helped to reaffirm my belief that sometimes experience is the best teacher, and that while everyone has a different approach to learning new skills, some people simply learn best by comparing new material to what they already know. Furthermore, enthusiasm and morale can go a long way when it comes to personal development, especially in the world of literary criticism, where it's important that readers have some degree of freedom to create their own interpretations. And this can mean finding ways to marry the experiences of both the author and the audience. And I believe that, on a final note, this is important for communication as a whole, since it allows for the facilitation of new ideas and collaboration between people with differing views. So that has been my multimedia presentation, and I thank you all for watching.